Cynthia had always been a hopeless romantic. Growing up on love stories and fairy tales, she believed that somewhere out there, her perfect gentleman was waiting. And when she met Damian at the university, she thought she had found him. Damian was everything a girl could dream of: charming, intelligent, and effortlessly stylish. He spoke with confidence, moved with grace, and had a mysterious allure that made heads turn whenever he walked into a room. But what truly captured Cynthia's heart was how much attention he paid to her. He always knew just the right words to say, always seemed to understand her without her needing to explain. "You're special, Cynthia," he whispered one evening as they strolled across campus under the streetlights. "I've never met anyone like you." Ruth, Cynthia's best friend, wasn't as easily impressed. She had seen too many girls get swept up by charm only to end up heartbroken, or worse. "I don't trust him," Ruth said bluntly one afternoon. "No one is that perfect." Cynthia laughed, waving off her concerns. "You're just being overprotective." "He's sweet, Ruth. He actually listens to me." Ruth folded her arms. "Or maybe he just knows exactly what to say." As the weeks passed, Damian's attention became overwhelming. At first, it felt like devotion, always checking on her, sending sweet messages, making sure she was safe. But soon, it became suffocating. Whenever Cynthia went out with Ruth, Damian would show up, uninvited but smiling as if it were a coincidence. If she didn't answer his calls immediately, he would text relentlessly, demanding to know where she was and who she was with. "Why are you always with Ruth?" he asked one evening, his voice smooth but laced with something darker. "She doesn't like me, does she?" Cynthia hesitated. "She's just looking out for me." Damian smiled, but his eyes were cold. "I just think she's jealous. She doesn't understand what we have." Doubt crept into Cynthia's mind. Was Ruth really being overprotective? Or was she trying to pull her away from the only person who truly cared? Then, the cracks in Damian's perfect image started to show. One evening, Cynthia accidentally left her phone in class. When she returned, she found Damian standing outside the lecture hall, holding it. "You left this," he said, handing it to her. Her stomach twisted. She hadn't told him she had lost it. She hadn't even realized it was missing. Then came the night she saw a newspaper on her professor's desk. A headline caught her eye. "Elusive conman strikes again, wealthy fraudster wanted for multiple disappearances." Her blood ran cold. The face in the picture, it was Damian. Her hands trembled as she read the article. He had changed his name, his identity, time and time again. Each time, the story was the same: he would charm his way into a woman's life, gain her trust, then disappear, leaving destruction in his wake. Cynthia's mind raced. Had it all been a lie? The affection, the care, the whispered promises? She needed to get away. That night, as she packed her things to leave, there was a knock at her door. "Cynthia," Damian's voice was eerily calm. "I know you're in there. Let's talk." Her heart pounded. Then, another voice. "Step away from the door, Damian." Ruth. And with her, a man in a suit, Detective John. The door burst open, and within moments, Damian was in handcuffs. He didn't struggle, didn't even look surprised. Instead, he turned to Cynthia with a smirk. "You'll miss me," he said. But Cynthia didn't reply. She was done with fairy tales. A few days later, sitting on the campus bench with Ruth, she exhaled deeply, feeling the weight finally lift. "You okay?" Ruth asked. Cynthia nodded. "Yeah. I can't believe I fell for it." Ruth nudged her playfully. "Next time, let's find you a guy who doesn't have a police record, okay?" Cynthia laughed, shaking her head. "Next time, I'll listen to you."
Please press subscribe button. It help us bring you more interesting stories. Your support keep us going. Please subscribe.